You're listening to a Canadian Movie Crew production.
Bubba Ho-Tep is the story of old man Elvis fighting a mummy. Or is it?
In this world, the story a movie gives you is the whole story. Or is it? It's the Or Is It Movie Podcast. And now, your hosts, Derek and me, Mark.
Welcome to the Or Is It podcast. I'm your host, Mean Mark, and of course is my co-host, Derek.
I'm Derek, yep.
And joining us all the way from the home of Elvis, the United States, that's as far as we at Canadian Movie Crew get, Scott White. Welcome to the program.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, Scott, you brought us this, Bubba Ho-Tep. You were rather insistent on this one.
I love this movie.
You brought us one of your favorite movies. Now, we don't always do bad movies. We've done good movies in the past. We've done Speed. We've done Final Destination is a guilty pleasure of mine. So we can do good movies on this show. It's always okay to like a movie. It's totally fine.
Yep. Barbed wire. Nothing.
What was the emphasis for this one?
I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies. I love Bruce Campbell, the guy who wrote it, Joe Lansdale. I'm a big fan of his. I've read about a dozen of his books. Don Cornucopia, the director, he directed Phantasm, which is one of my favorite horror movies. So everything about this movie. I read the short story before I saw the movie. So
really,
this is just one of my all-time favorite movies. That's why I brought it. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I could tell before we started the podcast that Derek was not thrilled with this movie. And that's always my biggest fear.
We'll get to that. Let me get all of the official stuff out of the way first. First, welcome to the show, Ozzie Davis, Bob Ivy, Ella Joyce, and Heidi Marnote. Welcome back, Bruce Campbell. And I was not aware of this going in. This is his 5th movie with us. We have Spider-Man 3.
Okay, that one I knew.
Time Cop. Moontrap.
Wait, he was in Time Cop?
Yep, he was in Time Cop. And 2 movies that Scott brought us, Moontrap.
Oh, yeah.
And Maniac Cop.
Oh.
Mark, so Mark wasn't on Maniac Cop. I remember that was just me and you, Derek.
That's correct. Yeah,
okay.
I was on vacation.
And Derek, were you on
Moontrap? No.
No, and you weren't on Moontrap.
No, that was with Karen.
With Karen Joy. So it was me, Mark. So
yes,
yeah,
that's probably why you
two
all avoided. So this is the first time all 3 of us has done a Bruce Campbell movie.
That's very true. Yes,
that's true. Yes, because you weren't on the other ones like
No.
Spider-Man 3, which we did quite happily, actually.
Mark was waiting to take a look at that one. Here's the thing with this particular movie. You're not the first one to recommend this movie to me. I've actually had probably half a dozen or so people recommend this movie to me. I've never gotten past the IMDb summary or I'm like, well, what's it about? And then they'll tell me it's like, oh, well, it's Elvis and Black John F. Kennedy, and they're in a nursing home, and they have to fight off an evil mummy. And I'm like, that does not sound interesting at all. So I would just put it off, and I'd never watch it.
I
don't get it, but that's what the show is for. So
I honestly
don't hate it.
had
I don't
heard of
hate
this
it.
movie. I heard the title. Heard the title. Heard that Bruce Campbell was involved and something to do with Elvis and a mummy, but I didn't really look into it. So I had no idea about the Ozzie Davis, fucking Jack angle of that.
I thought Bubba Ho-Tep was Bruce Campbell. I thought that was the connection, but apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, I was like, does Elvis become a mummy or something? Or, what's the Bubba connection to Ho-Tep,
Well, it was a mummy dressed as a cowboy. And that was the Bubba Ho-Tep.
Yeah.
Have you either of you guys seen the new Borderlands show? Not Borderlands, sorry.
The movie,
that's the movie we did on, or is it? Not the Borderlands one, sorry, the Fallout TV show on Prime.
I haven't. No.
Walton Goggins has some particularly special makeup with a cowboy hat, and it looks like this dude. Like, they basically copied, they're like, when Walton Goggins sat in the chair, he had a picture of this guy from Bubba Ho-Tep and was like, make me this guy. Make me this guy. Like, that's what it looks like.
We'll get to that. All right, Scott, well, you start us off. Let's get started here.
Well, it starts with a German newsreel about how they discovered this mummy, and then we do a hard cut to a nursing home in Mud Creek, Texas.
Now, how far is that from your house right now, Scott? How far are you from Mud Creek? Is that?
Yeah, are you close to Mud Creek, Scott?
I'm not far from. I'm not, but I'm pretty close to Nacogdoches, which is also in this movie.
Okay.
Well, the first is we get these definitions of Ho-Tep, which is an Egyptian
or
mummy,
a line of family
and
from
then we get definition
from the
of
Pharaoh,
Bubba. Yes, and then we get good old boy from the South,
redneck
trailer park resident.
Oh yeah,
and that's my first note. Was like, what dictionary is this from? Is this from Urban
the
Dictionary?
Urban Dictionary. Yeah. Yeah, I was. Yeah, well, Cracker was the one that did it for me. I was like, oh, okay, Cracker, okay, got you.
Yeah.
Then we pan into Elvis. Elvis is in his nursing home with another guy in his room, and the first voiceover we get is of him talking about his penis with a cancerous growth filled with pus in it. Yeah. That's how the movie starts.
Wow.
Yeah. And that continues.
Through the whole movie.
Yeah, there's more pecker talk in this movie than I would have liked.
There's more Bruce Campbell pecker talk in this movie than I care for in a lifetime. And it's nothing against Bruce Campbell. It's just...
Yeah. Look, I love Bruce Campbell. And I was surprised to see Ozzie Davis, too, but... Yeesh.
I just don't need to hear I don't need to hear what's going on south of the Mississippi. That's all I'm saying, Bruce Campbell. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I don't need to go what's going on down there.
And then
this is not the last time we'll talk about it.
No. Then we get his roommate starts coughing, and then he stops, and then Elvis has a flashback of when he was younger. The roommate dies in the room right in front of him. And
gotta say I'm not loving this part of the movie. I'll be honest. Maybe it's because I just turned 50 and I'm a little more sensitive to this kind of stuff now than I was like 20 years ago. When this kind of thing's coming a lot sooner than it was before, like 20 years ago, and I was just like,
you mean Mark? You just turned years old? Yeah.
Yes, I turned years old, and
I'll bleep that out for you. Yeah.
Bleep the first one, please. Yeah.
I will say that it affected me different this time because this is the first time I've watched the movie. We had to put my father in a nursing home. It wasn't as bad as this one, but he was in their nursing home for a little over a year before he passed. So this was the first time I watched it after that. So it did hit a little differently for me, seeing the things that happened in the nursing home and being there and seeing somewhat and seeing things not as exaggerated as it was in this movie in the place where Dad was kept.
My stepmom, 2 months ago, almost to the day, 86 years old, granted, but yeah. It got really real. So maybe that's what hit me with this movie as well.
But here's my question is, where are the orderlies? Where's the employee?
Yeah, you've got one poor nurse that seems to be holding this place together. I mean, granted, she's doing a good job, but where's her backup? Where's the night shift? There's no
help. There's no call button.
Well, the thing I looked up, so I was interested. I looked it up. This movie was made in 2002. So if we're going by when the movie was made, if that's the time operating in, and if Elvis was still alive, he'd only be 67, which is not that old. In the grand scheme of teams. Yeah.
Oh,
True.
you know, I hadn't thought of that. I didn't do the math on it.
But at the same time...
But what would you say Bruce Campbell's, like, the age makeup they got on him, what do you think he's playing? Like 87?
Late 70s? Yeah, maybe another 10, 15 years on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, the way Elvis treated his body, he might end up
That's true. That's true.
That's fair.
I put forth as evidence Ozzy Osbourne recently passed. So... Yeah.
But I'm also going to say Ozzy Davis is 84 in this movie. He looks fantastic.
He
does look fantastic. He's 84, in 2002?
He was 80 because he died like 3 years later at 85. So he's like, or 87. So he's either 82 or 80. He's in his 80s. 82, 84.
He's in his 80s?
Yeah, he looks fantastic.
He looks like he's in his 60s.
I
wonder
like
what he was
just
doing
walked
there.
off the set of The Cosby Show. What are you talking about, 84?
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Frank, was he the musical guest on In Living Color 2 seconds ago? What's going on here? I mean, he looks fantastic for an 80-year-old. And Bruce Campbell looks like shit. I know they're doing that on purpose, but he just really looks like shit. But he doesn't look. He looks 84. Ozzy Davis doesn't look 84.
Then we get the recurring.
That's wild.
We get the recurring gag of these two funeral home guys. They come and get a body, and
these guys.
Every time they leave, something This time, they start arguing about. One guy starts, like what Mark was saying, like thinking about what's going on, and the other guy's like, "Just shut the fuck up." And just
yeah. I mean, these guys were the comic relief, were they?
I think so.
Were they?
No, and that's my point. To which they get him. They get a hearty mean Mark. Ha.
Yeah.
No offense. I mean, I know this is one of your favorite movies, but these guys, I could have done without them because they weren't. I don't know if they got. I don't know, another comedic pair that maybe I'd seen before that worked well together. I don't know who was available in 2002, but they, just different couple of guys and a little bit better lining. Otherwise, these guys could go. I mean, I'm getting everything I need from Campbell and Ozzy. So
one of them looked familiar to me. He's a character actor of some.
One of them, yes, I can't think of his name, but one looked very familiar. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And that
now one person who I think I should have seen a lot of, but I haven't, and I thought she was completely someone else. We have the daughter of the gentleman who passed shows up.
Well, hold on.
This is played by Heidi Marnhout.
We forgot about the old lady who steals the glasses.
Steals the glasses off the woman in the iron lung.
Yes.
Who was left in the hallway?
Oh, right.
Yes, so there's a scene where this old woman's walking around and there's this other woman in the iron lung. And by the way, that woman in the iron lung was the producer's grandmother. Yeah.
Oh. Darling, put me in your picture. I want to be in your moving picture.
So
okay, Grandma, you lie down over there.
So this old lady, she steals glasses off of this woman in an iron lung, and then she steals some candy off of this table. And we cut to her in her room, and she's eating this candy, and then all of a sudden we see this giant cockroach, which attacks her.
And
yes, the scarab beetle.
Yes,
and then she gets murdered.
Yeah.
And then she gets murdered, and then it's the next day, and then we see the roommate's daughter show up. That's when she shows up.
Yeah. First of all, this woman is stunning, but also I thought it was Allie Larder. It looks so much like Allie Larder.
See,
I
didn't
from
see
Heroes
Ollie Larder.
fame. There's another.
I thought it was.
I thought it was
Missy
that girl
Pyle.
from Heroes, which Missy Pyle. Oh,
I thought it was Missy Pyle.
No, I gotta tell you, Ali Larder from Heroes, that age when she's doing it, like, which is right around the same, around 2006, so not too far off from this movie. If I showed you a picture of her from that show, you would see what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. She had the mean eyes. That's why I thought it was Missy Pyle.
Oh, I see it now. I see what you're saying. Yes, I get it.
Specifically from Josie and
right.
the Pussycats, former show of ours. But
right.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, she comes to pick it up. And this is where I wrote down, worst nursing home ever. No help when a man is clearly dying. Uncaring body removers. No security when there's clearly a thief amongst them. Later on, we find out there's enemas performed in the middle of the night. Ancient scarab infestation and murderers.
Yeah.
Talk about your low-rent nursing home.
Oh, and don't forget the corruption. Like, among the thieves and ne'er-do-wells is our heroes, where they just they start stealing whatever they need to for the end game. And it's like, yeah, I took it from the janitor when he wasn't looking. It's like, this is a crack staff you have here.
Well, why?
And how much a month are they paying for this? Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Everyone else is stealing.
They're dropping the ball. I do like the nurse, Ella Joyce. She was fantastic.
Yes.
She was just.
I have to say,
great.
Everyone in this movie is doing a great job. Bruce Campbell's doing a great job. Ozzie Davis.
What did you?
Ella Joyce.
Let me ask you this. What did you think of Bruce Campbell's portrayal of Elvis? Do you think he did a good job? Was he doing a caricature? I liked it. He never went over the top. He never turned into, in my opinion, he never turned into a caricature. He tried to give him the respect that he wanted to give Elvis, tried not to make him into too much of a buffoon.
No, it was a good Elvis impression.
Yeah.
Well, this is where I want to take that a little bit of a step further, in that, yeah, you can tell he loves the king, and when he was even close to being over the top, it was when he was playing the guy that was the Elvis impersonator, who would be over the top with the karate moves and the whatever else, right? So when he's playing that guy as an Elvis impersonator, he was doing a good job, because an Elvis impersonator would go a little bit over the top. But then when he was just Elvis, then, you know what I mean? He was just like, yes, he did, thank you very much, and all that kind of stuff, but he wasn't over the top as Elvis. He was only over the top as the impersonator, which fit perfectly.
Well, that's a good segue, because that's sort of the next scene. The roommate's daughter comes in, and the nurse sets Bruce Campbell up to tell his backstory about how he's the real Elvis, but he got sick and tired of performing, so he went to visit the quote-unquote best Elvis impersonator in the country, who was this, what's his name? Something Sav? Something Half?
Sebastian Half. Yep.
Sebastian Half, yep.
They have a private meeting between the two of them, and then we see who we think is Elvis leaving the room. He gets in the car, they drive away. We're led to believe that that's Sebastian Half taking over the role of Elvis as Elvis, and then Elvis taking over Sebastian Half. They sign a contract saying that anytime that Elvis wants to become Elvis again, Sebastian has to hand it over.
Do it. Yep.
But he blows up his trailer park, and along with that goes the contract. And then he was loving performing as an Elvis impersonator until he did a move, broke his hip, and then wound up in a mental institution?
A coma.
Oh, a coma. Okay.
And woke up with penis cancer?
Yeah.
Well, that's one hell of a fall. I didn't think you could do that, but apparently you can. You fall down, you break your hip, penis cancer. Holy shit, what the hell's going on at these concerts?
Let me tell you, I'm going to be very nice to my hips.
These Elvis fans are wild. You know what I mean? Like, because they swarm the king. He wakes up. Holy, okay.
Did I get that all right, Scott?
Yes, that's all right? That's 100% correct. Yeah, but
I
the
did not
thing
write
is,
any of that down. So,
and nobody believes him. They're humoring him by calling him Elvis.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that he's Sebastian Haff. And then we get the first scene of Ozzie Davis as JFK. They're outside sitting, and JFK's saying that he's got a bag of sand for a brain, and they dyed him black
to hide him in plain sight.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one would believe him, right? Who would believe a black man is the JFK? Yep.
and his brain is still in Washington D.C. in a jar somewhere.
That's what's keeping him alive. He goes, at any moment, somebody could turn that off, and I could die. So.
Right.
That's wild. I gotta say, I do like the idea of this place quickly becoming the institution for people who believe they're famous people that have disappeared or presumed dead. Like it's like a weird collection now they're getting of.
We do have Kimosabe, who thinks he's the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger. Yeah, see what I mean? Like it's quickly becoming that. Like the more people we meet in this place. Like, was the lady in the Iron Lung thinking she was Marilyn Monroe, or like what's going on there?
Oxygen is a girl's best friend. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She just takes the oxygen thing, puts it up her skirt to blow it up a little bit, and puts it back on her mouth. But by the way, Derek, your favorite guys from this, the Hearst guys, they're both named Daniel, the actors.
Okay.
Daniel Schwager and Daniel Roebuck. I don't know if either of those names sound familiar.
I think is the one I'm thinking
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. You guys go ahead. I know where he's from. He's a Welcome Back, I believe. Let
Daniel
me double
Roebuck?
check. Yep. Let me just double check real quick.
Oh yes. Final Destination. And
okay, not the one I'm thinking of, but yes. I thought he was the guy that the Penguin bites the nose off of in Batman Returns, but apparently that's not him.
Huh.
But he was in Yes, he was one of the FBI agents in Final Destination. That's where I know him from. Continue. Sorry.
We cut to Elvis's room. He gets up. He's going to use the bedpan, but he's like, I'm tired of pissing the bed and crapping the bed. He goes up to use the bathroom, and before he does, he turns on this little space heater. So he goes to the bathroom, he comes back out, and he sees that the tin of chocolates that his roommate's daughter left to him are on the floor. He walks over to it, picks it up, and then the scabbard beetle just lunges at him. And so he backs up, and now we get the epic the Beetle Elvis fight. Which is, I don't know if that was sort of...
Yes.
I don't know if the Beatles, Elvis, I don't know if that's like...
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's a lot deeper than I was thinking.
That was definitely deeper than I was thinking, yep.
And yeah, so now it starts flying.
Fair enough.
And I thought the Beetle looked cool. The head pops out, and it's like, yeah.
Had kind of a spider head to it, like with all the eyeballs and stuff, and yeah, it was hairy. Yeah, and I, for a fight with a plastic beetle, I thought this was pretty okay.
Yeah, it was pretty
good.
Like,
you kind of get it. Like this thing's bigger than normal, and it's got a purpose or an angle that it's really trying to get at him. And this is an old man who's kind of somewhat infirm, just trying to get it done. You know what I mean? And does he ever take him out in good order? I liked how he fried him. I thought that was fun. I was like, I would have left him on the heater, just like, don't put it out. And just leave that fucking thing till it's ash.
But that's what he does.
And you throw it in a hole, so it's an ash hole.
But who leaves these nursing home patients with sharp two-pronged knives in their rooms?
That is true.
Well, it's not prison.
Again, worst nursing home ever.
No, because when...
it's not prison. They can trust these people with sharp objects. Come on, they're not children.
No, Derek's right, because, once again, they always gave out plastic cutlery to Dad when he was there. But these are not just like... This is like heavy duty. The fork is a two-pronged fork. at it. That thing had weight to it. And
Yeah, this is something you would
like
use at a barbecue.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, it's the barbecue fork that you would grab your steak with
Yeah.
and flip it over. Yeah, absolutely.
And the beetle starts crawling towards him. He stabs the beetle with it, and then he puts it on the electric heater, and it burns it up. And he's like, "Never fuck with the king," and he burns it up.
Yep. Again, I don't think he left it on there long enough, but that's okay. He got his fried beetle.
Yeah.
And then the next,
It doesn't turn it in. That was my thing. It's like he doesn't show anyone. And again, no one's concerned. No one hears things get knocked over and a fight in a room somewhere.
Yeah, do we not go to the next scene where the doctor and the nurse, the only two people that seem to work here, are investigating and trying to figure out what's going on? Isn't that what's next?
the next scene is, well, first of all, the next line is my favorite line in the movie, where he's like, "Hey man, I think we got a major bug problem here." And
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, but this is when he walks down the hall into JFK's office, into JFK's room, and he finds JFK on the floor, and he helps him back up in bed.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
And JFK thinks Lyndon B. Johnson sent somebody to kill him. And obviously, like any other place, JFK's room is really, really nice. Elvis's room is sparse. It's kind of dingy, but JFK's room is like a very nice looking apartment. So I guess that he's...
And does he not get his own room too? Like, he doesn't have a roommate where Elvis did.
Right, he gets his own room.
Yeah,
Oh, he's the
like
president.
that's extra. Yeah, he's got the presidential suite.
I was going to say he's got the presidential suite. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Scott, as our resident American expert, being the only American on this show, does that LBJ thing make any sense? Does that land with you? The like LBJ sent
Well, that's
someone to
I
kill
can
him?
tell
Is
you
that-
that. Yeah.
There was
Theories that LBJ was
Yes.
the one that put the hit out on JFK.
Yes, there were conspiracy theories that LBJ had a JFK killed. So that's what they're playing on right here.
Oh, okay, all right. I know less about American presidential history than I do about Elvis, so okay, that's fine.
And then that's when the head of the nursing home and the nurses, and then he's explaining to him about the bugs. And he's, once again, they're patronizing. It's like, okay, we'll get some exterminators in the morning.
But where's the fried bug to show him? Like Derek was saying.
I don't know.
He should have still had it on the fork and be like, look, we got a major bug problem here, man.
Then we get a scene where we go back to Elvis's pecker, and we get the scene where the nurse is putting ointment on the pecker.
Yeah, and without showing it, it's a long scene.
Yes, and Elvis ends
We
up
get,
getting a
we
boner,
get-
and that's like the first boner he's had in, like he said, in 2 presidential elections.
Oh, yes, and I'm so glad we got that information from his own mouth directly.
Yeah. And the thing is, he kind of rolls his eyes back, and he's thinking, and he sees the bug, he sees some premonition, like the lady that died or something like that, and then a quick shot of Callie, her bending over to pick up something. Like, yep, okay, I get that part. I get with. He's like, oh, something's happening, man, and it's exciting me. And I was like, well, there's the girl, yes, but I mean, it's been a couple of presidential elections, but does a bug really do it for you? Or
I just want to mark this as about 30 minutes before me and Mark did his first Elvis impression. I just wondered how long that would take.
Very much.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get that full scene. Like, she applies that topical cream, and we have to wait throughout the whole process. There's no cut. She's thorough too. Like, she's a good nurse.
Yep.
Let's put it
And
that
she
way.
finally sees, she finally sees the king in all of his glory, apparently, and
she's impressed.
is rather impressed. Yep.
So,
She says thank you very much, almost.
yeah.
Then we get a short scene in the dining room, and that's where we meet Kemosabe. And once again, I think the scene was just there to show us how depressing that place is.
Yes.
Which they do a lot. I gotta admit.
And then JFK goes into Elvis's room, and that's when JFK confesses, I know you're Elvis. And Elvis is like, at that point, he's going to be friends with him because he's the only guy there that thinks Elvis, the real Elvis.
But he doesn't believe that he's JFK.
No.
No, he sort of humors him like
you know you're dead, right? No, LBJ did not come after you.
Yeah.
And this
can't kill you again.
And this is where we get the explanation, because JFK has the explain all the creepy things in the movie book. And so in Egyptian... So I wrote this down. An Egyptian soul sucker sucks the souls from a sleeping elderly assholes and then craps soul residue into the public toilets.
Yep, because they find some hieroglyphics on the, as Elvis said, what? That's it? Some stick figures on a shithouse wall?
Yeah.
That's what you... And apparently they translate...
yeah, shithouse wall.
One of the translations is Cleopatra. So what they're saying is, basically, it's just like whenever, modern time, for a good time, call Betty. This was like the Egyptian version of that, because one of them was something like Cleopatra is a whore, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And at this point, when I'm listening to this explanation, I'm thinking back to all the people over my lifetime that have recommended this movie. I went, okay. Why? Okay, all right. We're not done. We'll see it all the way through.
But they go back to JFK's room, and they start talking about it more, and then the mummy attacks somebody else and wakes up Kemosabe, and Kemosabe, who's supposed to be the Lone Ranger, as Derek said, he has his toy gun, so he starts shooting, asshole. Yeah. And so the demon walks down this hallway, and I'm going to say this was some really good cinematography with that light twirling behind him and all the bulbs popping around him. I thought that looked really good when the mummy was walking down the hall.
Agreed.
And the mummy walks down the hall, makes eye contact with Elvis, and through that we get a flashback of what happened to him. And we get he was buried alive. He was buried with the beetle. They took his brain out. He went on a tour. The bus that he was on crashed, and once again, we're going to get more exposition on that later in the film. But we get all this through eye contact between Elvis and the mummy.
Yes.
Yeah, there seems to be, like, Elvis has superpowers a little bit, or at least is gifted something beyond what anyone else is. Like, he's got these little
I kind of got that was from the mummy.
Yeah, he's been gifted this. Yeah. Like he's getting something that, like Ozzie Davis's character, JFK isn't getting this, or the nurse isn't getting it. You know what I mean? Like Elvis is specifically being gifted this stuff from the mummy.
Yeah. And so the next day, he goes walking.
Kemosabe has a heart attack. So while Kemosabe is shooting at me, he has a heart attack. He dies in the hallway. They lie. They don't say anything about the mummy. And then the next day he does go for the walk. That's when he goes for the walk. Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes for a walk, and he gets to the top of the hill, and he sees the bridge that was under construction where the mummy fell off. And he's like, oh, fuck it. And he starts walking down the hill, and I wrote down, if he goes over this cliff Mac and me style, I'm going to have a real fucking problem with this. But he makes it down.
Yeah.
To be fair, he makes it down. And that's where he puts it all together that, he fell, the mummy's there. And the soul sucker needs to suck the souls to stay alive. And he feasts on the elderly because they're easy to get. But they're soft souls.
They're small.
So they don't...
They're small souls.
Small souls. because they don't have a lot of will to live, so they has to come back every night. Right?
Right.
Is that what? Did I get that right?
That is exactly right.
That and they've already had their soul. They've already had their soul partially sucked out of them by the American medical system. Ayo! Hey! Whoa! Oh, sorry.
But that is 100% right.
It's kind of a sore spot right now.
Shit! Sorry.
So what?
I thought that an American joke would do better. Oh, I'm sorry.
So Ozzie Davis went into town, and he got some background. Apparently, a mummy was stolen, and they were going to ransom it, and so that's what Bruce Campbell, Elvis, was seeing. The mummy was stolen. The people who stole it got hit by a major storm. Bus went off the bridge. Bus went into the creek, and then the mummy eventually freed himself from the wreckage, and now he's feasting on the elderly. And
Right.
he took the clothes off the driver. That's why he's wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
No, you didn't miss it because that was in the audio commentary. It's not in the movie. But
Okay, good.
But that explains that explains why he's wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots.
More fucking movies with homework. Great.
So when I first saw that, I was confused because we had just seen the Lone Ranger, and then the next scene or scene a couple scenes later, we see this thing walking out in a cowboy hat and boots, and I was like, "Oh, he got the Lone Ranger already and took his shit." But then we see the Lone Ranger comes out and challenges him to a shootout, and he's got the white hat and his own boots. So
Yeah.
I did not know where they came from. Thank you for clearing that up.
Well, and like you said, at this point we get the close-up of the mummy when he has that sort of tete-a-tete with Elvis. And the only thing going through, I was looking at it, it's a great costume. I will give it that. Mm-hmm. The one thing that went through my head was Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh yeah, yeah.
especially the part where all the mummies start turning their head, all the zombies start turning their heads towards the camera. If you remember that part. That's what it reminded me of because that's sort of the look of it. But yeah, I was impressed with the makeup work in this movie. So
Elvis and JFK decide they're going to go after the mummy. It's like it's not much, but this place is my home, so we have to defend it. And so they get together, and as Mark said earlier, they're going through a checklist of all the stuff they have. They've got rubbing alcohol. They've got a insect sprayer. They've got their costumes, and Elvis has his,
flashy jumpsuit, yeah.
And JFK has a nice blue suit.
Yeah.
With some good shoes, that he says. Now, kudos to these guys. When you were talking about a gearing up sequence, rarely do we ever see a handwritten checklist on a clipboard. I think that was really good, very thorough. If you have your gearing up you got your gearing up checklist. I thought that was a great touch. Good on them for being organized, not just randomly strapping stuff on to dramatic music.
And then they go, let's meet here at 2:45, and JFK goes, the way we move, let's meet at 2:30.
Yeah, because JFK's in a wheelchair too.
Yes, he's in a motorized wheelchair, which is going to be important later. He doesn't need it, but it helps him get around. Mm-hmm. And they meet at 2:30.
He's got a fully charged. That was on his checklist.
Yeah, fully charged wheelchair. And they go outside, and they found some gasoline. So they fill the sprayer with rubbing alcohol and gasoline, and they're just going on the common knowledge that fire cleanses evil. So they're going to burn.
Yep. That's fairly standard, mumbo jumbo, right?
Right.
Yep.
across a lot of different, fiction, nonfiction, whatever. Yep.
Now, is this? Did we skip the part where Elvis tells the nurse to fuck off?
Yes, that was right before he went on the walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because later on, he goes back to his room and he sees the topical cream, and he decides to apply it himself.
Or as he puts it, lube his own crankshaft.
There you go.
One of the reasons
I wrote the note. I
Go
I
ahead.
really didn't need to see his nurse apply the topical cream, but I don't need to see him apply it either himself.
I just
Really don't need that in my eyeballs.
Really love the dialogue in this movie. The dialogue, that's what makes it for me. That's one of the reasons why I love this album.
Yeah. And of course, Bruce Campbell delivering it. Yeah. But Derek's right. You wouldn't tune into Chicago Med on Thursday nights and have them talking about who's going to lube his crank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is quickly becoming a medical procedural show, but it's not a medical procedural episode you'd ever see on a medical procedural show. You know,
No.
that's all I'm saying.
So they go outside and they actually talk about their daughter, their family, their children. And they bond over, we were shitty parents, but we did the best we could under the circumstances. So they talk about how they neither one.
Yeah, we weren't there for our kids, and
then they split up. JFK goes off in the wheelchair. Bruce Campbell, Elvis, has his walker, and Bruce Campbell has the sprayer on his shoulder, and he has a cigar. And he was saving his cigar for a special occasion. So now he's smoking the cigar. And they're out.
That was weird. That came out of nowhere.
He said he was just saving it for a special occasion. So you know, maybe he's not coming back tonight. He thought it might be a good idea.
I guess. I mean, that wasn't an Elvis thing, though, right?
I don't remember him being a cigar smoker. I don't remember that at all. I like Elvis. I'm not a huge Elvis fan, so I couldn't really tell you about that.
I think he was a smoker, but I don't know if he was a cigar smoker. Possible. Of all the things he put in his body, that's probably the least offensive.
Still, he died at 42. I didn't think it was that young. For some reason, I thought it was older, but he was 42 when he died. It's like, that is really, really young. Yeah.
Yeah.
JFK goes out to lure him out, and then Elvis sees the mummy. And now we do this scene where the mummy is walking, and then the mummy disappears, and then the mummy reappears, and then the mummy's walking. So we get sort of a Scooby-Doo thing where I don't know if they're chalking it up to old age where they're not seeing, or if it's the mythical power that mummy may have.
At this point, I'm thinking it's just the mummy magic, honestly. Like it's able to walk through walls, stuff like that. I didn't really chalk it up to them being senile.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is.
That is interesting. I didn't think about that.
And then,
but JFK falls asleep.
He does fall asleep, and then the mummy sneaks up on Elvis, and Elvis takes his walker and pins the mummy against the tree with his walker.
Yeah, that was great. I was like, what a good use of a walker. Yeah.
And then that wakes up JFK. So he comes, and JFK and
well, JFK, if I'm not mistaken, instantly gets bitch slapped out of his chair. And is basically out of the rest of the fight.
Not instantly. JFK and Elvis get together, and the mummy walks away and disappears. JFK goes, "I'll flush him out," and then that's when he gets bitch slapped. So he starts driving his wheelchair. He gets bitch slapped out of the wheelchair, and the mummy's going to start to suck his soul. And I love this part. So the wheelchair starts. It's like it has a mind of its own.
Driving on its own.
Yeah, and it's right back towards Elvis. So Elvis jumps into it, grabs the sprayer, rides up to the mummy, sprays him, and then sets him on fire. And the mummy walks away, and we think dies. And we get a scene between JFK and Elvis, where JFK is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
and he gives him this. He take this, and evidently this was a chant or an incantation. From one of the books, he said that will help ward off evil spirits.
Evil spirits.
And he gives that to Elvis. Yeah.
But it turns out to be just like a stupid nursery rhyme type thing. Like, evil is bad, go away, come back don't come back another day, or something stupid like that.
Pretty sure it's just some mumblings that JFK wrote down by way of his own version of an incantation. That's how I read that, was that JFK just wrote some shit down that he thought would work, and handed it to him like he believed this is the magic spell that's going to dispel this fucking mummy.
Yeah.
Well, JFK dies, so Elvis gets back into the chair, and he's like, "TCB, baby," and he just revs up the chair and rams into the mummy, and so they're having this fight on the wheelchair, and they go over a cliff, not a cliff, they go over an incline, a decline.
They Mac and me, yeah.
Yeah. And while this happened,
I think they go back down to where. Well, don't they go back down to where Elvis first saw the bus crash? Isn't that the same hill that he?
That is the.
But now they're falling.
Yes. And while this happens, he gets impaled with a branch or something in his stomach, so he's bleeding out. Mm-hmm. And I think.
Oh, okay.
And
yep, during the fall. Mm-hmm.
And I never thought of this, but I think. Maybe he had to go. They had to kill him at the point where he came out of the water. Maybe that's how they kill him. Maybe that had something to do why he the first time.
I don't see. I'd like to think that, but I don't think so. They didn't really call it out, and they do a pretty good job of calling out like this is how we've got to kill him, and we're going to burn him with fire. Yeah, we're going to do a stupid chant, but it's not going to work. But that's a joke. But the whole thing about getting him back to where he came out of, I don't think that was the thing. I honestly think it was just, we have this set, we're going to use it. We've got this yard, wherever this is, whoever's letting us use their property, we've got it for the weekend, so we'll do this scene, and then we'll do our climax here on the same hill, and send Bruce Campbell back down the same hill again. And there is a symmetry to it that he ends up there, but I don't think it had anything to do with being able to. I think he just didn't use enough gas the first time.
Well, that's what happens. He uses a ton of gas this time and sets him on fire again. And this time
he uses all the gas.
Yes.
Yeah.
and this time you can see the souls leaving his body as he's burning. So all the souls that he sucked, all their souls are free to go to wherever, because that was the big thing. It's just like you don't get to go to the next level. Your soul long,
yeah.
So it means like you never existed. And with this, he's released the souls of all of his quote unquote friends there, and now they get to go wherever they were meant to go.
And this is where he sees the letters in the sky, the hieroglyphs in the sky.
Yes, and it says all is well.
Yeah, and then Elvis dies, right?
Yeah, but in his mind meld with the mummy, he managed to learn hieroglyphics. I'm
guessing that probably had something to do with that.
Or he sees the subtitles.
Either way, got a superpower there. You know, well, he was getting these gifts from the mummy, like he could these little short premonitions, or stuff he would see in his dreams that was actually happening just outside, like 10 feet away from him, but he was asleep, so he didn't know it, but he saw it in his dream or something like that. And so this, it makes sense. He would just kind of know Egyptian hieroglyphics because he mind melded with a mummy.
Yeah.
And then he dies. It's left kind of ambiguous at the end. It's not. He supposedly dies at the end, but it was supposed to be a bit ambiguous.
Yeah.
Where if we needed him, we could have brought him back for another movie.
Yeah, he just wakes back up in the hospital again, like, oh, damn it. You know?
Which apparently there's a sequel to this. It's Bubba Nosferatu or something.
It was supposed to be. It never happened, but it was supposed to be.
It never happened.
It never happened, yeah.
Ah.
And that was Bubba Ho-Tep.
Yeah, just a couple of things on this movie. Author Joe R. Lansdale came up with the idea for the short story when he saw The Mummy from 1932. Basically, the main villain in that one is called Imhotep, which is the standard name for the mummy in movies. Lansdale thought, well, if he was from East Texas, they would call him Bubba Ho-Tep. And that's the amount of thought that went into that, that title. The filmmakers managed to round up about 100 extras for the Elvis concert scene, but as the film dragged on, extras steadily departed. By the end of filming, there was only a dozen or so extras left, which pretty much dictated where the camera angles could work.
That's where you see a lot more of the camera in the crowd, so they only have to have a dozen or two or so people in front of them, and now
audience
you're in the
POV.
middle of the crowd. you're in the middle of the audience, quote unquote. Yeah, you can, that makes sense. Yeah.
And Scott, you fact check me if you know. I'm just taking these from the internet. So, before Bruce Campbell accepted the role of Elvis, he had only one question for the director: are you going to show the penis?
Yes, he mentions that because in the short story, it's very, very, very graphic about what happens to the penis in the short story. So.
Oh, so we're spared, are we?
Yes, we're spared. Yeah.
Because that kind of goes nowhere. There's a lot of things that go nowhere. There's Elvis's family his daughter that he never sees, or his wife that never comes to visit him. There's the penis thing, the penis cancer. There's, the whole things with the body remover guys, the ambulance guys. That goes nowhere.
Does he get to bang the nurse or his roommate's daughter? No,
Yeah. There's a whole scene with the head of the nursing home and the nurse where she goes out for a smoke and he comes out and basically gets her in trouble and says, so-and-so's waiting for an enema. And she's like, I'm going to finish my cigarette. Okay, that scene goes nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like waiting for all of this to sort of meet. And I'm like, okay. I guess in the end, I don't get it. But that's just me. You're in a great company as far as I'm concerned, Scott. I've had this, like I said, recommended to me tons of times. Now I've seen it, and I still don't get it. So, but as always on this show, we try to find the real story behind the story, Mark.
Well, Scott, you pretty much got mine. You said it earlier. Or is it Elvis versus the Mummy, a non-Scooby-Doo adventure?
There you go.
If he lit him on fire and it turns out it was the janitor the whole time, I would have said,
I was going to say,
yep, sure.
Just pulled the mask off and it would turn out to be the creepy guy from the roller park or whatever.
Or just one of the two hearse driver dudes. Just so they had something to do. That would have made sense.
That would have made sense.
Yeah.
Scott?
Yep.
Or is it the greatest movie ever?
Yeah.
Or, like I said earlier, or is it Elvis versus the Beatles?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what should that have been a scarab, or should it have been Paul McCartney in there with him going toe to toe?
I've got two, or is it? I said it before. The worst nursing home ever. And again, Mark. We see this in movies all the time. At night, no lights. No lights. Not even in the hallway.
Not the rooms I get, but the hallway, you don't even leave one on.
Yeah. And I worked hard for this one. Or is it the story of a man who's lost that lovin' feeling and his friend when they get all shook up and begging, "Don't be cruel" to a dead lonesome cowboy in the ghetto? Blue suede shoes. I worked hard on that one.
Yeah.
Scott, thanks very much for coming out and bringing this movie to us. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Just visit my website, scottyblanco.com. That'll give you all the links to all my podcasts, all my socials, and give you the calendar on where I'm performing. So, and by the way, I just want to say before we started, both of you said, I don't have a lot to say about this movie. We're at about an hour now. So.
Yeah. Well, that tends to be the way with us. So.
Well, you know what? It's thanks to you, Scott. You helped carry us through this one. Thanks for bringing us this movie. Thanks for being part of the podcast. And thank you in advance for being a part of our upcoming 300th episode of Or Is It?
No problem.
That's going to about do it for Bubba Ho-Tep. I'm Derek.
Mark.
I'm Scott.
Join us next time and we'll take a look at the story of the man who speaks to Lestat de Lioncourt for his internet audio show in Podcast with the Vampire.